Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we will discuss a movie Basic. I need teacher Lee here to ask why it's basic, but I I think it's something related to the military base, I guess.
No.
Why? So what is
Because
this?
in a moment of the movie, Travolta tells us
Please.
murder is a basic instinct, something like this.
Okay.
In a moment of the movie, they say that he says that.
So teacher Lee, we are talking about the name of the movie, or the title, right? Basic. So what is this? Is it a kind of a pun, or is it a kind of a joke, or some kind of clue, given to us? So is it a basic instance or basic plot, or what is this?
They were on a training mission, so I'm going to guess that it means basic training. When a soldier first joins the army, he has to go through what we call basic training to learn the basics.
Wow.
How to salute, how to act, obey orders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And obstacle courses and exercises and getting up early and making their bed. All this discipline training is called basic training. So I think that's what the intent was, but it wasn't very clear from the movie. You're right.
Yes, but in a moment of the movie, they say that anybody can kill, and that's basic. Something like this. Do you remember? In the moment of the movie, Travolta says that.
Yeah,
So everybody in a moment can kill another guy.
Yeah, I remember this moment. Julia asked him, do you think he was prepared to kill? And Travolta said, there is nothing to be prepared of. It's very basic thing to kill someone.
Yes, basic.
Okay. So in that case, basic instinct.
Basic
Okay.
instinct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but I would not say that this training was a basic level. It was pretty advanced to my knowledge.
I agree. That's why I didn't really understand the title basic. But now that you've explained basic instinct, I understand it better. Okay.
Yeah. I guess it was so advanced that I would, die in the first 2 minutes, I guess, of this training.
Yeah.
Sergey, hello.
Hello.
We are talking about the title of the movie, and we discussing some kind of options why it's given this way, basic. And one of them, it was because it was a basic training on this military base. Do you think this training was basic or pretty advanced?
I think it was pretty advanced. It's not a basic.
Yeah.
Was it similar to your training?
Not. When I was a student in army, we remove the grasses
Cut the grass.
in front of our building.
Yeah, I don't know is it a secret or not, but most of the time Russian army busy not with training, but with basic things like cutting the grass and painting the houses.
Oh God.
So that's our kind of basic training. Okay. Vova, tell us a little bit about the characters, who we should know.
Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
This is ex-ranger who quitted the army, and he agent for drugs now.
DI is kind of drug enforcement something agency, right?
Agency, yeah.
And in Panama, and
Yeah, the military base in Panama. Right?
he's civilian now.
He's ex-ranger, right? He's civilian. But Gerard, what does it mean ranger? Do you know?
Ranger.
Yeah, what does it mean?
It's a sort of soldier, something.
Yes.
They're a branch of the army, and their job is to be scouts. They're kind of like the Marines for the Navy. The Rangers get there first, scout the area, assess the danger, and report back. So kind of like recon. Recon and Rangers are the same concept. So they're sometimes the first people on the scene.
Usually Rangers are very important for the army, right?
Yes, they are the eyes of the army.
Okay, thank you.
So can we say they're kind of elite of the army, right?
They consider themselves elite, yes. How the rest of the army views them, I don't know.
I think in Texas they have a sort of police that they call the Rangers in Texas.
Yeah.
Teacher
Ranger
Lee.
base?
Yeah, Texas Rangers, that's a different meaning there.
Mhm.
Right.
A forest ranger is one who ranges the forest. He goes all around the forest looking for forest fires and things like that.
Mhm.
So those kind of rangers are more, they cover the range of their territory. They protect or oversee the range of their territory. So a little different meaning than a military ranger.
Okay, so for the Navy, we have Navy SEALs, right? For the Army, we have Rangers. It's kind of special force, right?
Yeah, but for the Navy, it would be the Marines.
Marines. Okay.
The Marines hit the beach. They're the first people into combat, the most likely to die.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the Marines are the first ones to hit the beach. The SEALs are an underwater division. They are trained in scuba diving, planting bombs underwater to sink ships, things like that. So they're the Marines and the SEALs are a little different skill set.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom Hardy, civilian DA agent, ex-ranger, and very important person for us, right? So we're one of the main characters. Who was the next? Oh,
Julia Osborne.
Captain Julia was. So who is she?
And you want Captain.
She's an investigator, right? Kind of a
yeah.
police. So her job is to find the truth of some kind of incidents or crime scene or something like this. So detective, but for military, right?
And Colonel Styles.
Okay, Colonel. Who's Colonel? What is his name?
Styles.
Styles, right? Well, who is Colonel Styles?
The man who called Tom.
Yeah. But I guess it's the main one on this military base, right? So probably he rules. He's in charge of this military base. I guess.
Yes.
The boss, right? Okay, and what can you say about Master Sergeant Nathan West? Is he looks like your teacher in the school?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Unfortunately, you said.
Watching.
Fortunately, okay. Okay, what can you say about him?
He's very strict.
Mhm. Very demanding, right?
Mhm.
But what about himself? Is he a professional?
Yes.
He serves for a long time, right? Oh, sorry. So, what does mean Master Sergeant? Oh, do you understand?
The best sergeant.
Yeah, it's kind of a rank, right? We have a many type of sergeants. The Master Sergeant is the higher one. Which
It's
one?
the highest one.
Highest one. So
He's
probably.
got- He's got lots of stripes on his shoulder. Lots of-
Probably he served like for 20 years or something like this, right?
yeah, at least. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Also, we have a lot of soldiers and lieutenants from this. I don't know how it's called, squad or something for military base, and Dr. Peter Wilmer, right? So let's go to the questions. Let's see if we can retell this twisted plot, which is not really simple.
I had to go to the internet to figure out the real purpose of the whole Section 8. It wasn't clear to me at all.
Vasant, could you please start with number one?
Yeah. The initial training exercise in the jungle of fun. It started from the helicopter and with all 8 soldiers who were about to jump off the helicopter into the jungle and to to complete a training mission. I don't know what it is. It's not a treasure hunt anyway, but I don't know what was the purpose to jump into the jungle. To fight with themselves?
Just a
No.
training, right? They had a. Do you remember they had a goals, kind of targets, 20 or
Oh
something.
yeah,
They had-
yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, they have to shoot the dummies.
We saw
Mm.
something like that in one of the Clint Eastwood movies, if you remember, where they had the challenge combat. It was a competition, and they had these fake buildings, and you walked up there with your pistol, and these innocent people would pop up and bad guys would pop up. You shouldn't kill an innocent person, only the bad guys. Same kind of idea, reflex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vasant, would you like to participate in such an exercise?
No, in such circumstances, the climate was so difficult to perform any task.
But why not, Vasant? You know, hurricane, you know, Panama, forest, 20 targets in the forest, you know, you have it's just a good walk in the nature, I think.
Yeah, but I don't have to worry about the fellow soldiers. Maybe a snake just did do that job.
And their backpacks weigh about 60 pounds. Imagine carrying like 2 huge bags of rice on your shoulders all the time while you're moving through the jungle. My God. I think it said in the movie, we learned to hate that backpack.
But do you remember later on we learned that they went to this exercise not from the, you know, from the rest, not from the their houses, but after another exercise. So they had another exercise, and then sergeant said, you know, it's a good way to make another exercise after your first exercise.
Yeah. My God.
Terrible. I don't think it's something I would like to participate in. Okay, let's go to the next one. Leila, could you please?
Explain how the train incident ended. Chopper rescue. Chopper rescue is the helicopter rescue, right?
Yep.
Okay.
right.
So I can just summarize. Sometime later, I think 17 or 18 hours later, the helicopter arrives there, and the people on the helicopter were a bit shocked because soldiers are just shooting at each other, and they saw Dunbar and Mueller especially are shooting at each other. At that time, Dunbar was carrying Kendall on his shoulders, and a very gloomy weather. It was a kind of thunder, and what else?
Well, what do you think? Is it something expected? You know, when you do a rescue operation and you see your soldiers shooting each other.
Even of course, I wasn't expecting, but the only thing I can say, because West was trying to provoke them by humiliating them and scolding them, I said something is going to happen. I mean, that was my impression. But I wasn't expecting this because it was a kind of military exercise. They don't shoot at each other, I mean, on purpose, I think.
Yeah, it was
You know,
live ammunition. Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that West tried to humiliate them, you know, to provoke them. I had a story from my life. So when I was in military, we had one, we call it open day, you know. So at this day, your sister, your mother can visit you, you know, and see you inside the army or something like that. And at the end of the day, my sister asked me, why she meant officers, why they humiliate you all the time. And I did not understand her question. So, because I did not notice anything. Because they don't, you know, they don't treat you like you're a good boy. They treat you like you are nobody, right? Just a machine. Just they don't speak to you. They don't talk to you. They give you commands. So I don't think that from my opinion, that West was, humiliating them. He was just, trying to make them a little bit angry, a little bit competitive or something like this.
I thought he was looking down at them. I think, who are these people? Do this, do that. You can't manage. I mean,
Yeah. Let me ask you, don't you think that he had a kind of a ground for this? So imagine Sergeant West, he's served for 20 years, he probably can kill all these guys, alone. So for him, they are just nobody, right? Just a new freshman that are nobody. So he don't have any respect yet. It's my opinion.
I mean, if I were one of the soldiers, I don't think I could stand.
I would not subject myself to such humiliation. I'd say, I'm sorry, get a different soldier. I'm not going to take this crap, I couldn't do it.
Lucky you, Teacher Lee.
Yeah, it's good to have a choice. But actually, in the movie, they all had the choice, right? They all could quit at any time, right? Just say, I don't want it anymore.
No, you can't quit the army, Ivan. You know that. You can't quit the army. You can end up in the brig in jail, military jail. You can't quit.
Teacher Lee, but-
Why, Teacher Lee?
Yes.
Aren't they get paid?
Yeah, but when you join the military, Layla, you sign a contract and they own you for like 2 or 4 years and you cannot quit. You are stuck the entire time. They can beat you, they can cut you, they can kick you in the face. You cannot quit the military. You are stuck there until your contract is over or you end up in prison.
Oh
Teacher
my
Lee, but
God.
in
It's
the
not
movie,
a job.
yeah, but in the movie, Sergeant West at the beginning, he said, I know that all you are volunteers and you have to quit our department at any time. So probably they was kind of a elite ranger, something team who are all the volunteers. How I got it. Jart, have you heard this part?
Yes, but I don't know.
Maybe they were soldiers that volunteered to participate in this mission,
Mhm.
but there are no volunteer soldiers that can quit anytime. That doesn't exist.
I understand. Okay, so they are shooting each other, right? And they are late and and most of them not found, right? So we have
Yeah.
only 3 of them out of 8, if I'm right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Gerard, could you please cover the 3rd one?
Why was Tom Hardy ostensibly brought into the case?
Mhm.
Because this soldier, what's his name? Dunbar?
Styles.
Styles.
Dunbar was the soldier that survived. Styles was his boss, the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the guy told that he wanted a ranger.
Yeah, why? Why do you think he wanted a ranger?
Ex-ranger.
Because someone out of the base, of the people of the base, maybe distrust them.
Yeah, he wanted a ranger that was not one of the base's rangers. He wanted an outside ranger.
Well, actually, the ulterior motive, we'll know that at the end of the movie. The
Yeah.
ulterior motive, the ulterior
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I found it a little bit logical, right? So this soldier at that moment, I thought, okay, he went through the many hardships, right? And he wanted, some kind of like him to talk about. He did not want to talk about with some, civilian lady, right? So who probably doesn't understand anything he's talking about.
She was military. She was a captain. She was military.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of different, right? She was kind of a military police, as how I understand it, right?
I'm wondering whether men are afraid of women in the same level, 20 years ago, the men were male chauvinists, I think it's hard to believe that a woman would scare a man to talk.
Now, I wouldn't think, scared, no. Disrespectful towards women, yes. Yeah. But, this guy acted like, I'm not going to talk until I want to talk to somebody outside this group. He talked like there was a conspiracy going on, There was no conspiracy. Why was he so, I didn't understand. There was a lot in this movie that didn't make sense to me.
But I guess it's kind of interesting. It's kind of a bait for Colonel, right? Because it looked like a conspiracy. Colonel was kind of worried about what is this? What is this? I want to get my answers, right, during this span of time. So that's why he was about to allow someone external to visit the base and start investigation. So it was a bait for Connell, in my understanding.
Ivan, what made me a bit thoughtful, this guy, the colonel, was guilty, right? At the end, we did understand that.
Yeah.
And he knows Hardy. He could be ex-ranger, but he was really good at his job. Why?
Well, we don't know this. We don't know was he good or not. Do you remember he was under, how we call it, suspicious, right?
Suspicion, yeah.
Yeah, Gerard.
Yes, because Tom Hardy was infamous of being that somebody could bribe him, And the colonel knew that. So colonel knew if Hardy finds out something, I could bribe him.
Yeah. And
He had about the reputation. That's the reason he called him, I think.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? So I will invite this guy, and my plan B, if something will, reveal, so I just give him some money, because we know he's a dirty guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know this at this point, but by the end of the movie, we know that this mission had, let's say, 8 people on it.
Yeah.
2 of them were dealing in illegal drugs.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor was involved in this scam, and Stiles was guilty.
Yep.
So all Stiles and the doctor know is that these guys went out on a mission, something happened, and 2 guys came back, and all the rest are dead. So they don't know what happened and who knows what about their illegal drug scheme.
Yep.
So Stiles needs to find out what happened in a way that if the drug scheme was discovered, he can cover that up somehow.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Another thing, Stiles knew that West knew something about the operation, right?
Yeah.
And he ordered to kill the West. It was his order.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he's kind of very interested, right? Was what really happened on the mission, right? So I have to know. I have to know about this.
Yeah, because they were 2 guilty soldiers worked with Stiles, and he ordered them to kill West during this mission. And 1 drug dealer came back alive, and 1 not drug dealer came back alive. So now he's not sure what happened, and neither one of them will talk.
Yeah. And so how you told this, dead body don't speak tales, right? So probably the best way, to kill everyone from this mission.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the beginning that West threatened them to saying, sometimes some accidents happen.
Yeah. I remember he was talking, our base suffers 3 accidents per year, so probably, and this year so far we had none. So
Yeah, not accidents, but accidents.
But the accidents could happen to him.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Boaz,
scary.
help us with number 4.
How did Captain Osborne feel about Hardy being brought in?
Mhm.
I think she hate him because she was very, very, very good, and he was bad.
Well, she's a professional, but we can understand this, right? So just imagine that you are a professional, you're doing your job, right? And then your boss told you, just, step back. I will invite someone to do this for you. Why? So I don't need this, right? So you telling me that I'm not capable of doing my work, right? So and then the guy who they invited, he's kind of a dirty guy with some strange past and with a strange manner, and he's ex-army, he is not in charge. So, and she said, you cannot use this at tribunal at all. So all this evidences is just nothing. So kind of bad situation for her, right? Unlikely replacement, yeah.
He was a sloppy dresser. He acted casual, like he didn't care. He just not a good individual. I had a bad impression of him too. I've never liked Travolta. Travolta always plays the same kind of character. I hate his characters.
Starting drink at the morning, right? And
Yeah, Jack Daniels.
okay, I think we kind of covered number 5, right? So just to summarize, right? So he was a sloppy, he is under suspicion, he is drinking a lot, he is had a bad reputation, so not a guy, you would promote to in the army, right? And probably a guy you will, fire or something like this. So not a good one. Okay, number 6. Sergey, could you help us with number 6?
No, I don't understand the question.
So is there some kind of time restriction for their jobs, for their work?
For the investigation.
Yeah. So how many time do they have and why this time is restricted, if it's restricted? Do you remember?
No.
Well, do you remember?
They have 24. No,
6 hours.
6.
But why?
16. Because he will fly on a plane.
Because it's just a military base somewhere in Panama, right? So when something serious happens, they send a plane to give him to some, I don't know, not to Washington, but on the kind of bigger military base, right?
Back to a U.S. base, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the main investigation will happen there, right?
Yeah.
But Colonel will know nothing about this, right? He will know only results, probably, if he is lucky. That's why he needs results now, under these 6 hours. That's why it's timeline, it's strict, and they are in hurry, right?
Exactly.
Good. So, can you help us with next one, number 7?
Yeah, describes a black guy named Pike and his relationships with Sergeant West. And Pike was the weakest ranger, and he had bad relationships with Sergeant West because Sergeant West permanently pressed Pike, and West humiliated Pikes. And we remember one case, they were tried to achieve the mountain, and he had achieved 99%, and Sergeant West told, "Please give me your backpack." Oh yeah. And his backpack. You know that you have to have a backpack everywhere. Please go back to this backpack.
Oh.
It was terrible, I think, for Pike, and Pike hated West.
Yeah, so after this scene, we can believe that Pike would kill Sergeant West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you remember Sergeant West asked him a few questions? Do you remember them?
Yes, I remember. It's interesting questions about something because if I understand correctly, during this training, yeah, you have to save your mind in front of unknown it, and when you tired, when you annoyed it, when you lost your backpack, but you have to save your mind and you have to answer your question. You have to answer 2 questions from your boss, because it's a training like prison. When if you have the problem in prison, you have to save this mind. But to be honest, I don't remember the question, but I remember this is simply answer of this question.
Yeah, but
Hey,
questions were hard, right? So give me some number, some year of, I don't know, French Revolution. Then deduct 40% from this and multiply by age of your mother.
Yeah, it was an impossible question. It was an impossible question. He just wanted to humiliate the guy, You fail, you fail. Yeah.
And he said, you do remember, Sergey? He said, your intellect is the only weapon you have. If you lost it. Yeah, funny. But sadly, I have seen this in my military time. So it was a kind of how to say it, enjoyment that officers always do. So when you do your running exercise or something, they from time to time ask you to multiply something or count something, or give them some historical facts or something. So they always check how sane you are. So did you lose your mind? Did you lose your mind or not yet? was not funny at all. Okay, let's go to the Kendall, right? Lieutenant Kendall, if I remember right. Wasans, could you help us? Number 8.
Let's say Kendall and his father. Yeah, Kendall said that he was homosexual, I think. Yeah.
He was in the hospital. Do you remember? He was shot.
Yeah. And he said that his father was so strict, and in order to punish him, he sent him to the army base.
That wasn't punishment. He was in a scandal at his last base.
Okay.
And his father's a high-ranking individual, and that caused him embarrassment. But he wanted to avoid scandal, so he moved his son to a new place where no one knew him.
Yeah. But so they kind of relationship with father, how we say it, they are tough, right? They don't like each other. So unlikely, but at the same time, who knows? Maybe this general, will save Kendall from another scandal, right?
Yeah, the dad hated the guy, but still tried to, to protect him, maybe just to avoid scandal for him, but the father did try to move him around to protect him.
Yeah, that's why I remember Osborne told Tom Hardy that, you have to treat him with a baby.
Yes, he's very fragile, she said.
Yeah. Lay off of Kendall. Don't make trouble for him, leave him alone. His dad's important. We don't want to make his dad come after us. Yeah.
Yeah, but I forgot how it's called. Baby smittens, gauntlets, how baby with
kid
gloves.
Yeah, kid gloves.
Kid gloves. Okay. I would say that Tom failed this mission, right? So he didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to number 9. Leila, could you help us?
Yeah. Here, the first time when I saw Dr. Wilmer, the moment when they entered the hospital, and Hardy and Wilmer gave a hug to each other. They were happy to be together, happy to see each other again. And Osborne, Julie, was just watching them closely. And she did understand that they were old friends. And meanwhile, West did understand that Julia and Wilmer has or had, I'm not sure, a relationship.
Ongoing,
Maybe
yeah,
in the
ongoing,
past.
occasional, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So
Probably.
getting sticky, getting involved here, emotions now.
Right.
And I think it's probably because this base probably is a small one, right? Somewhere in Panama, so probably very few kind of options. So what we call, yeah.
Yeah,
You mean that's why Julia chose Wilmer?
not many fish in the sea, we say.
Yeah, kind of level. So that's why I think it was kind of occasional, how should I say it, right?
Yeah,
From time to
sure.
time, yeah. So
Casual.
casual,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's
yeah.
not a kind of a choice of the whole life, but at that time, because we are here, so something like this. Okay, let's go further. Number 10. Gerard, could you help us?
Why does Kendall say that Wes wanted him dead? We
Yeah.
almost answered this question because Wes knows about what happened with Kendall and his homosexual relationship that was known, and his father is the general, sent him here. So
Okay. Yeah.
he hates him for that, and when he's in helicopter, he threatened him with his finger, like, I'm going to kill you.
It
Yeah,
was
but-
funny.
Smiling.
But nobody saw it. Do you remember? So it was just
Yeah.
funny.
It could be possible. The helicopters are very noisy.
Yep. Okay, Gerard, could you please cover the next one? 11.
11. What is Kendall's version of what happened in the jungle? Oof. It's
Hard one.
complicated.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a mess. In
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, let's describe it step by step. So we have 4 teams, right, in the jungle. It's a 4
In
teams,
couples.
couples, kind of,
4
right?
couples.
Pairs.
Pairs.
Every of them have own zone of operation, right? And they have to what's the word? Hit all the targets and then went to some kind of shelter to wait for the
Bunker,
helicopter.
right? Mhm.
Right. So they're spread out to do their area and then meet in the shelter.
But during these exercises, let's say, there is a blast of phosphor grenade, right? And what was Kendall version? So when they were attracted to this blast, they went here and they saw dead West, right?
Yep. And the grenade had been shot into his back. So a phosphorus grenade is phosphorus is a metal that can somehow burn. It can burn underwater. So it burns very, very hot. So when you get hit by a phosphorus grenade, you're a dead man. It's going to burn your internals and you're going to die quickly, So he was killed by a grenade in the back. Okay.
What's the purpose of a phosphor grenade, Teacher Lee?
Yeah, I know. I can answer. So phosphor, it has a very high temperature. So it's not a kind of a blast, but it has a very high temperature. So you can, you can burn any metal, anything you want. So you can, you can give a artillery thing, some kind of gun or tank, and you can make a hole inside it with a phosphor grenade. So, and it doesn't matter how, how thin is this metal, because phosphor grenade will make a hole anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's if the bright light can blind an enemy at nighttime so they can't see temporarily. I'm not sure the tactical uses of it, Gerard. So, but it's bright light, it's hot burning, it produces smoke. So it might give a partial smoke screen. If you throw it into gasoline or a fuel dump, it's going to cause an explosion, right? So, fire and explosion.
Yeah, but again, what I remember, it's mostly to remove something, to eliminate something massive, some kind of tank or artillery gun, some cannon, something like this. So you can damage what we call it, the pipe of the cannon. You cannot shoot anymore because
damage metal. Okay.
yeah. So because
Metal,
it's very very effective. So it can destroy 1 meter of metal. This phosphate.
Okay.
So for how we call it, diversant job or something. So for rangers again.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Sergeant West is dead, and who's around, Gerard, by Kendall's version?
Pike, I think.
Can't remember.
Yeah, it's a big mess.
There are different versions. I mix up all of them.
I think in Kendall's version, Pike was not there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone else was there, but Pike was missing.
Mhm.
So he was the suspect.
Yeah. So the most important thing that they found dead sergeant. They had kind of an argument, but then they went all to the shelter. And when Pike arrived, they found that Pike did not have a grenade in his bag. So guilty in his eyes, right? So immediately. And they arrested him. And do you remember Pike tried to make, I don't know how to call it, uprising or something. So he tried to tell them something to put them on his side, right? So let's kill everyone and say that they killed sergeant.
I think it was Mueller wasn't without wearing t-shirt,
Yep.
Mueller, the guy. So
Yep.
he said that West was shot close range, and you get blood stains, if you are close.
Mhm.
So he removed his t-shirt.
Yeah, Gerard, you're right, but it's kind of a next question. It's Dunbar's version. So
Okay.
on the first version, it was a grenade. And the second
okay.
version, it was a close range shot.
Okay.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So in the first one, Pike was guilty. In the second one, Mueller was guilty. Yeah.
Exactly.
In the first one, he said that Pike admitted his crime. I killed
Yeah.
West.
Yeah, exactly. And his I don't remember. Is he admitted this, or he said, I'm a black guy, he will blame me anyway. Something like this. So I'm the only black guy, so I will be guilty whatever what. Something like this.
In the first version, Kendall said that Pike admitted his crime. I killed. Yeah, I know. I was there and I killed West. He said that. But in the second version, in Dunbar's version, he was suspected because he was late, I think, and everybody else already had the suspicion because he was the prime target of West. He was being humiliated, so they suspected him, and also his grenade was missing. So they just tied him up.
Okay, so let me cover, kind of summarize 11 and 12 questions. So we have two stories. They are alike, but they have kind of different details. So grenade, shot, bloody short on one, and color of the skin of the main character. So they kind of different, right? So investigators at this point, they are kind of in no-go situation. They have two versions, they have two witnesses, and what to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they need to find some kind of, can I say, teacher, discrepancy or something?
Yeah.
Some clue, right? So what is wrong? What is not wrong?
That's right. Remember when when Hardy went to Dunbar, Dunbar said, I didn't shoot him.
Yeah.
Shoot him? Wait a minute. How did he die? He was shot to death, Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
And what we learned that during the investigation, Dunbar presented how they call it, war cocktail or battle cocktail, right? A syringe, how we call it,
Syringe,
syringe with chemicals, right? Which brings us to the next questions. Vova, could you please answer 13th question?
What was Dr.
Wilmer's
Wilmer's role in this incident as revealed by the investigation? He sold some drugs to them.
Do you understand what kind of drugs? It's kind of painkillers, So these soldiers, they are always in pain, right? So always something bad happens with them. So they say, do you remember Pike said, without pain, it's more fun. So they start to consume these painkillers, and there is a kind of consequences. When you are on the painkillers, it's very hard to abandon them, right? Do you remember we had this scandal like last year in America, right, teacherly, about painkillers or something? So a lot of
fentanyl or some kind of weird name. We've got drug problems in the U.S. from Mexico.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dying here from illegal drugs from Mexico. It's been happening since I was born.
Yeah, but I remember that on the last year or year before, there were kind of a big scandal that many doctors, they prescribe painkillers without, relevant circumstances, and people are kind of became to drug addict to these painkillers. So
yeah, I don't remember that, but that happens occasionally. Every few years that happens. Yeah, it's a recurring scandal.
Yeah. So people like painkillers. Let's talk this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Wilmers, we understand he's kind of a producer, right? He did not do this for free. So he built a network of, I don't know how we call this network, spreading or selling.
Distribution network.
Distribution network. And he was a smart one, right? He was buying beer to soldiers, talking to them, right? And he said, I like this part. He said, once they tried this painkiller, they can never jump off the hook, right? So they always okay.
And sometimes he hid the drugs in shipping containers. Sometimes he even hid them in the coffins of dead bodies being shipped home all the time. So they had ways to get them through customs.
Sergey, could you help us with the next one, 14?
Describe Wilmer's fate. Wilmer was arrested by lady officer and Tom Hardy, and lady officer beat Wilmer, and she told him, yes, I will lost my lawyer's career and my army career, but I want to beat you because you spread some drugs, and you have to answer me. And they asked him, and he described the drug painkiller system distribution, and I don't know, maybe he answered about 8 command, maybe it was later, I don't remember. And finally Wilmer was arrested and was put in
custody. Yeah.
So it made her look particularly stupid because she's making love to this guy over a year or two, and she doesn't even know he's dealing in illegal drugs, which her job is to find that stuff and stop it. So he made a fool of her for all of their relationship. So she was really angry.
I have to admit, I did not like this scene, because in my opinion, kind of breaks the logic. So let's think about this guy, Wilmer. So he kind of a smart guy. He brought, he earned probably millions of dollars, right? He kind of he built a distribution network. He did a lot of job, and then some lady hit him with a book, and he said, oh, okay, so I surrender.
Yeah, a little too easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have to work hard, I think, for such people.
And I want to know how he hid his money. I mean, you're in the military. How do you hide millions of dollars in income,
Yeah.
You'd think somebody would notice.
Yeah, it's cash, right? Drug money is always cash, so you have to have something, a big jar for this.
Yeah. So
Okay, let's go to the next one. Kendall's fate. Vasant, could you help us?
And,
Do you remember this big
Yeah.
plane? Oh, sorry, no, it was a different one. It
Kendall was
was
in the hospital
in
bed.
the hospital, right?
he was in the hospital, and he was laughing uncontrollably while he was talking to both of them. But eventually he puked blood. He vomited
Mhm.
all blood, and he was poisoned.
Yep.
Yeah.
So someone killed him, right?
Yeah, and before dying, he wrote that 8, the symbol 8 on the lady upstairs hand. In
Yeah.
that form. Mhm.
I tell you, you're
Yeah.
puking up blood and you've got the mental discipline to reach over and draw an 8 in her hand while you're puking up blood. Come on.
Yeah. It's just impossible, yeah. And do you remember that it was Julie for a moment thought that it's infinity? Do you know infinity sign?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
eight.
Now,
Okay.
what puzzled me was, why did he draw an 8 on her palm? He was not part of Section 8. He was a drug dealer. So why did he?
Yeah, plot hole, I think. Or we don't understand, or it's plot hole. So because actually, how did he know about 8 at all? So it's not clear.
Maybe that group supply him that drug.
No, it was
Now
Lino.
their job was to catch drug dealers and kill them. This
Mm-hmm.
whole movie was about Section 8's job is to secretly find drug dealers and kill them.
Mhm.
That's Section 8's job.
Yeah,
So
okay.
maybe Kendall thought that Section 8 had poisoned him.
Yeah.
Vasant, do you have another?
Yeah, I thought the same, because he was trying to put the blame on Section 8.
Okay.
They both want to, even the superior officer wanted to put the blame on after all drug dealing thing on Section 8. So they want to make it clean.
I think Section 8 was a sort of urban legend
Mhm.
that everybody knew, but they don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more thing, the superior officer was the one who tell about Section 8 to John Travolta, and
Mhm.
he said that.
So who do you think poisoned him? The doctor or Section 8?
For
Doctor?
me, yeah, it's clear. It's colonel or doctor, someone from the mafia.
It's got to be the doctor. Section 8 could have poisoned him because Section 8's job is to kill drug dealers, right? But they could easily have killed him on the mission. Why would they wait until he came back to the hospital and kill him then? So that doesn't make any sense. So I think the doctor is clearly the guy that poisoned him, so he wouldn't talk.
He wouldn't talk about his job, but the doctor's job, right?
Right, the drug involvement. Yeah, so he had to. The doctor had to silence him just to be sure.
Okay.
Okay, number 16 is pretty easy, so let me answer it. Doctor, he knew Pike and Dunbar in person, right? And when he was asked about who you have seen, who was kind of accompanied to the plane, he said it was Pike because Dunbar was a black guy, right? So they kind of intentionally made a mess because one guy took a name of another guy, just to hard to say to what, to to prolong the time of investigation, to make a mess.
Yeah, that part didn't make sense to me. What was the purpose of that?
Exactly. I cannot answer that. Okay, number 17. Leila, could you help us?
Hardy, I think he lost his control and tried to attack him, right?
Mhm.
If I'm not wrong. And it doesn't work.
Leila,
First,
we are talking about kind of more late events. Do you remember? So White Pike, at that moment, he was accompanied to the plane, right? And Tom
I don't
Hardy.
remember.
Yeah, Pike was about to get on the plane and get out of their reach.
Mhm.
So Hardy ran down to the plane and grabbed the guy.
Okay, I did remember.
And then what did he do?
He just forced him to talk by making him close to the van. Yes.
Propeller.
Okay.
Okay.
And he was screaming, but of course, because it is so noisy, we couldn't hear his scream.
Do you
And,
remember he throws his gun to the propeller, right? And gun was
yes,
kind of
yes.
destroyed in a moment.
Now
Well,
imagine your soft flesh.
it was very scary to me, so I cannot imagine to stand so close to the propeller.
I mean, if you are so close, does it cut your throat?
It will kill you, like
It makes hamburger out of your face.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have had situations in the US where someone gets out of a plane and the blades are going so fast you can't see them. We have had people get off of a plane and walk into a propeller
Oh
and
my
die and die. I mean, it happens. So, they'll always tell you, don't go to the front of the plane, go to the back of the plane. Yeah. Oh, horrible. Horrible way to die.
Okay, so he kind of scared Pike to the death and made him make a new story, right?
Okay,
Gerard,
then what was the story? I don't remember.
Yeah, let's ask Gerard. Gerard, what was the story? Number 18.
The story the West was not shot, so West knew of the plot about the drugs,
Mhm.
and there was a shootout in the hut, and West escaped and chased them. I think Nunez, he was the first.
Yeah, so actually, he told us the new version of the story that West was kind of against all of them, almost all of them, right? So they were like in a cope, can I say, in a cope, kind of in a same group, but West was against them, and Pike was kind of neutral, right? But West did not let him go, if I'm right. Yeah, this kind of story. And eventually West was killed by someone of them, right?
Yeah, Mueller, the guy without t-shirt.
Mhm.
Mueller was the guy that killed him, that killed West.
Yeah. Actually, if I were investigator, I don't think that your story helped me a lot, you know. So just another story that I cannot not prove, not refuse.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Three-
where
yeah.
are the corpses? You know.
Yeah, there was a hurricane. There was a hurricane at the time, so they're thinking the bodies may have been blown away somewhere. So there were no bodies and 3 different stories.
And I questioned myself: is it possible for an helicopter to fly in the middle of hurricane?
I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know.
Not if not, I would say no. The winds would be way too strong.
Yes.
Well, hard to say. Modern helicopters, they're capable of many things with all these automatics, but I don't know. For the old time, all helicopters who you manage by kind of your hands, it's impossible. You just don't have this reaction, this speed of reaction. But nowadays, hard to say. Probably it's kind of
But
compensated.
we're talking 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20
Yeah.
years ago, yeah.
Do you remember Starman? At the
Mhm.
end, the ship makes the wind real windy, and the attack helicopters have to land because it's too windy for them to stay in the air. And that wasn't hurricane winds. Yeah.
Okay, Vova, please help us with number 19.
19. What happens when Hardy confronts Styles in his office?
Mhm.
He understood that Hardy understood that Styles was
Had his hands dirty, right?
yes.
He was in the operation. What happened?
He went to his office, and Styles wanted to buy him, but
Yeah. Do you remember how 1/3? So you will get 30%, right, of this. So what happened next?
Hardy was thinking, and Osborne shot Styles.
Styles through the glass door, right?
Mhm.
But it wasn't she shot him because he tried to draw the gun. So it was not just just killing an innocent guy. He was trying to kill Hardy. Nice.
So
Yeah.
she killed her occasional lover who made a fool of her.
No. It was not a doctor, actually. It was a
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Colonel.
Different guy. Yeah. So she killed him to save Hardy. Yeah.
So but
yeah.
she beat her lover before.
Yeah.
Teacher Lee, here I can say, or can I? Hardy would be her new lover.
Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Sergey, could you
Maybe.
help us with number 12 or 20?
Not, I didn't watch the end of this movie.
Wow, you missed the most interesting part.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big reveal.
The new among.
Vahans, could you help us with number 20?
Yes. Osborne was following Hardy, and she suspected him for saying that all you have to do is telling the story, right? So she followed him and found that the people who were said to be dead were all alive, and they were inside a building where, and she thought that Hardy planned everything, and they were all his allies, and they executed the plan of killing West. She thought that initially, but suddenly West appears, and it revealed that he is still alive. He is not dead, and it's all their plan to expose the drug dealing mafia.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. Why Osborne started to follow Hardy off base? So they, they say goodbye to each other, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
Hardy left. Yeah.
yeah, Harry said that all you have to do, don't worry, they will clear all your, charges, and all you have to do is telling the story right. Then she suspected that it is the phrase she had been hearing, from the
Also suspects, right?
Kendall, yeah, from the suspects, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I like this moment. It's kind of Eureka moment, right? So they all use the same phrase again and again. So why?
If you were him, would you feel suspect, Yvonne? I wouldn't.
If I was Julia Osborne?
No. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you were Julia.
Oh, hard to say. I'm not that smart, to remember
Come
all the phrases.
on.
To me, he was a civilian working in the DEA in the United States, I assume. How could she connect him to what's going on down here in Panama in the jungles? I didn't see how she could make that connection. You know what I mean?
And more,
Yeah.
do you remember? She just killed a guy, Connell, to save Hardy, And the moment later, she said, aha, he said the wrong phrase. So I suspect him.
And also she gave her telephone number to Harvey.
Finally, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Leila, let's cover up all this rest of the questions. So what happened at the end? So she
My dear
found
friend-
out,
Yes, she follows Hardy, and they went. Also Dunbar, if I'm not wrong, Yvonne was with Hardy, and she followed them and saw all the people there, and except West, and he targeted her gun. He wanted to shoot at Hardy because she thought he killed West, but at that time West came in and smiling.
yeah, and I like kind of
So-
this final
So-
conversation, when they are all enjoying their meal, talking something, like just usual Monday, nothing happened. So it's just another operation.
Yeah, and also they were all happy, eating, laughing, smiling. I saw West for the first time, just, oh my God, he's smiling.
Yeah.
So my understanding of this whole movie was this entire movie's purpose was to kill Mueller and Kendall to
And-
stop their drug smuggling.
Yeah, Wilner, Kolner, so all the network, all this distributed network.
And they didn't know about Styles at the time.
Mhm.
Maybe they knew about Vilmer, I'm not sure. But if they could kill Mueller on the mission, why didn't they kill Kendall on the mission too?
Yeah, good question. But we don't know still. Probably it was, it was not a choice to kill Miller or not. Probably he was with a gun, right? He was a hard trained. Probably he attacked someone. So it was not, it could be not a choice.
Maybe. Okay.
Mhm. Leila, so if you were, let me ask the mirror question to you. If you were Julia Osborne, would you accept the job offer to work for Section 8?
I would. Then I would get rid of this monotonous life.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. This life is not boring, I guess. If you if you work for such an organization.
Yeah, we need action.
But did you notice that at the end we found out that Tom Hardy actually is not a DEA agent; it's a colonel.
Just a legend, right? So they made him a dirty DA agent just to make it easier for dirty guys to invite him, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cover story. Yeah.
Yeah, funny.
So seemed like an awful elaborate plot
yeah, almost impossible just for the movie, right? So
just to catch
But I
some
like
drug
it,
dealers.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but in real life, of course, it's impossible to make that complex plan and make it working, you know, so it's just impossible. The simpler plan is, the more chances it will work.
Yes, I agree.
So when West found out about the drug dealing, he told Stiles, these two guys are dealing drugs.
Mhm.
And Stiles told those two guys, on your mission, kill West. So I think Stiles arranged the mission so that his two drug dealers could kill West on the mission and make it look like an accident. And I guess West might have, well, West didn't know this. So I think on the mission, West might have been surprised by that assassination attempt. Whoa! And the mission kind of went wild.
You know,
Another thing, I'm wondering if the real West was so harsh with the recruits, you know?
Mhm.
Like, it reminds me, you know, the movie Full Metal Jacket?
Mhm.
Something like this, a very exaggerated. I don't know at the end if he was so harsh with the recruits.
Yeah, but remember, most of those recruits were his Section 8 team.
Mhm.
Only Mueller and Kendall weren't on his team.
Usually, why did they kill the lady there?
Nunez,
They didn't.
Yeah.
they didn't.
She was one of the Section 8 team at the end. She was alive.
Mhm.
She was the woman at the end, at the dinner.
Ah, okay.
Only Mueller, the guy with no shirt, he was the only
Okay.
guy that died on the mission. Only one man
Okay.
died on the mission in reality. Mueller, a drug dealer.
Miller. Okay,
And-
teacher.
And Kendall was the other drug dealer, but rather than let him die on the mission, they brought him back. That's what puzzled me.
Yeah, funny. But they kind of, it's a pretty complex plan. It would not work in real life, we have to admit. And there are some kind of a little bit plot holes, right? So how all the Section 8 was chosen for this exercise, it's not realistic at all, I would say, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But at the same time, who elected people for the operation? Probably it was Sergeant West. So Sergeant West just choose everyone from Section 8, probably. Could be. Yeah.
And remember, he chose Pike at the last minute.
Yeah.
Pike made a comment and he said, you know what? You're coming on the mission. And that was really Dunbar, which was one of his own people. Yeah, I didn't understand some of that.
Yeah, but I like it, the kind of the style of the movie when we have the same story kind of from different point of views.
Yeah.
Again and again. So I don't know, I found it interesting.
And that happens in real life. You get 2 or 3 different stories. You don't know which one to believe.
You know, another thing hard to believe. So now the West is a black guy and Pike's at the beginning, he was a black guy. Why should West, you know, go over Pike? Because, you know, black guys tend to be friends with each other, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when they...
Also, yeah. Also, how can you not know one of your soldiers is black or white? How can you not know that Pike was really a white person? You know, how can you miss that fact? I don't understand it. Is West the only one that knew these soldiers and no one else did? You know?
Yeah.
No pictures in their military files. Nobody looked at the records of the dead people and said, wait a minute, this guy's white. You know, that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, probably the military base is small. Probably Julius is in charge, but she did not do this all this job.
Yeah, you'd think they would know all their soldiers at the base, but I guess not.
Well, yes, you're right. There must be a lot of soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay, we almost run out of the time, so probably we can do one picture for, I don't know, for a person, probably. Let's find something, you know, significant for the story.
I love that scene.
This one? Okay,
Yeah.
Layla, please tell us what is happening.
I love the way she hit him in the eye with a book. I enjoyed the moment a lot. She was angry with him because he had been lying to her for a long time.
Mhm.
And this is enough.
Okay. Well, I think that this is a very dark room to my standards. So how can people work in this, closet, I would say.
Yeah, I know, really.
Yeah, I like this monitor. I had one like this, and these books that
I like it, Ivan. I
yeah,
love.
it was so many pages. I don't know, 1,000 pages probably. So it's like a
Yeah.
brick.
A telephone
Oh.
guide, maybe.
Old phone book, yeah, the
Old
old
phone
phone books. Remember, strong men always tear the phone books in half, right?
Right. Exactly.
Uh,
Okay, Vasant, could you please describe this one?
Yeah, in this uh, the interrogation scene. Is that it?
Yeah, it's a scene when Tom Hardy is
Hmm.
trying to scare Pike.
Oh
Right?
yeah, now I can see that. Yeah, he found out that he was lying and he is the main suspect, and so he went there, and it was not a yeah. This is the moment when he realized Pike was not a black guy; he's a white guy. So after that clue, he went there, and they were about to transport him to some other place. He stopped them and threatened them with a gun. Finally, he intimidated him to push into that airplane blades, rotating airplane blades.
Okay, I see.
Finally, he agreed to approve to pick him to be a approver.
Yeah. If we look at the left part of the picture, we can see a red kind of cone, right? A flag here. So it's kind of a wind meter. Is it right?
we call it windsock.
Windsock. Okay, I like this name.
Yeah, it fills up with air and it points in the direction the wind's blowing. Yeah.
So it's funny that there is kind of a hurricane, a lot of water, a lot of rain, but windsock is not showing the big wind. Okay?
Now, imagine you're Hardy, you've got people all around and you were pushing someone's face into a propeller. Let's say you did that and killed the guy. What's going to happen to you? You're going to go to prison for murder. If I was Pike, I'd have said, you can't do this, because if you do, you're going to be in prison for murder,
Usually in here, they were also pretending, acting, right?
Yeah. They were friends, actually. They were friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's the point for this show? It's a good question.
Putting at risk. Both of them could be at risk.
Now, remember, these weren't Section 8 here. These were the people these were going to carry them back to the United States. This wasn't the Section 8 people.
Yeah. They could shoot them, just to prevent all the show. Yeah, so it's very risky. But I think, Section 8, they are kind of hardened adrenaline junkies. So
yeah, Section 8 would kill the guy, no problem, but
okay. Gerard, which one do you like? This one? Well, I have another one with Mexican restaurant.
Okay. This is the base of the Section 8.
Yeah.
We see Julie aiming towards Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy knows it's her that is aiming at him. It explains her everything, and eventually invites her to join the group.
Yeah, and I think you're right that Tom Hardy knew about her, because do you remember he was moving so slow on the street? He was dancing with some, carnival ladies or something, just to make it easy to follow him.
And I think he gave her the sentence, you know, I don't know, remember the sentence to
We have
give
to
her a
finish.
clue to
Yeah.
discover, you know, the section A, so she could join
Which-
them.
So can we say he likes her?
Yeah,
I
I
think
think.
Well, he wanted to hire her anyway. Yeah, so he was leaving her a breadcrumb trail, right?
Teacher Lee, I am creating a romantic scene now.
You know, in this movie you have 4 bad guys and 3 of them die, except the doctor. That the doctor got his nose broken by Julie.
Yes, yes.
Happy end.
Yeah, it's
And none of the
definitely,
good guys die.
definitely happy end. Yeah.
Right.
Well, but I don't know. I still like it. I don't know. Maybe it's just just some fresh idea probably for me to show this again.
You
and
know,
again.
Yvonne, what I'm thinking. Usually Teacher Lee suggests us a kind of movie, and now I'm looking forward to his choice. I have started to become like Teacher Lee.
Wednesday hooked you. Or Wednesday made you addicted, right?
Yeah. Oh,
That was
Okay,
a good
I
series.
don't know. I have a suggestion. Let's jump to the past and give some series from Outer Limits or something. Always classic. Do you remember Outer Limits? We did once.
I think I watched it. I have to just have a look at it.
About the hand. Remember the glass hand,
Yes.
the robot hand. Remember?
Yes,
That was an
yes.
Outer Limits episode, 1 hour. Yeah.
Okay, you choose. I will watch.
Guys, I'm afraid I cannot be on time on the next Sunday, but I will write again close to the event. But probably I will have tickets for this time. So excuse me for the next.
And
time.
also, I'm going to Rome on the 3rd.
Wow, Leila,
Oh.
finally,
I managed.
very good.
Cool.
Pizza.